everyone. My name is Ms. Brandy, and I'm the Executive Director of College Clinic. And I am here to talk to you guys about transitioning into college. But before we get started, where's my class of 2018? Make a little noise for me. Let me hear 2019. Let me hear So thank you guys for coming. We only got a brief amount of time. We got a lot of things to talk about.
You are being embarrassing. Knock it off. We're here to have a good time, but I need you to listen.
Thank you. So my name is Ms. Brandy. I was born and raised here in Cleveland, Ohio. I am a still die-hard Cleveland Cavaliers fan and a Cleveland Browns fan, even with living in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, I graduated from Shaker Heights High School, and I went to the University of Cincinnati and got my bachelor's in history and African American studies. And I relocated to Atlanta, Georgia, and when I got down there and started to work in the celebrity and the sports and entertainment industry with helping them and their nonprofits to give back to the community organization. So during my time in Atlanta, I went back to school and got 2 master's degrees. There's a bachelor's, there's a high school diploma, there's a bachelor's degree, there's a master's degree, and there's a doctorate degree. Didn't go that far to get a doctorate, but I got a master's in marketing and nonprofit management. So in my profession, I have toured the country with Neo. I have sang happy birthday to Reverend Jackson. I've gone on Outkast's 20th reunion tour. I've seen the world, experienced a lot of different things. But I've come home this weekend to share my blessings with you all. I'm not bragging. I'm telling you how great it is after high school and the many opportunities that you have in front of you if you just apply. So, each one of you all have received a piece of paper called the 10 Things You Need to Complete Your College Application. There's a lot of things on there. We're going to blitz through it in our next 10 to 15 minutes. There's 2 columns on your sheet. On the left is the list of the 10 things that you may need to apply for college. On the right is a blank column. If anything that I say to you applies to you, write it down, jot a note, because those are tools that you need to help you be successful in the future. So we're going to run through the 10 things.
Jesus.
Now, I told you all of those things is not as bragging, but to tell you all that I was a student just like you were. I was in 12th grade, and I caught senioritis. Does anybody know what senioritis is? Raise your hand. Senioritis is what happens in about the 12th grade when you just get ready to graduate. You know that it's May or June coming around the corner, and it's October of the year, and you just start losing steam. You start thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be ready for this exam. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish studying for this. I failed math and English my 12th grade year. I went from a 2.5 all the way to a 1.99999. I think my counselor pushed me over to a 2.0 because my dad was a principal at another school. Now, as old as I am, my parents are still here today supporting my dreams after high school. So I want to thank my parents for coming out. But what I'm getting ready to show you is that learning does not stop after high school. Just because you may have a grade like I had doesn't mean that you can't be successful in life. I'm a living proof of that. So let's run through these 10 things. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. The first thing, no, I need feedback. That's great. The most important thing that you need to apply to college is your transcript. By raising hands, show me how many of you all have seen your high school transcript. Awesome. So, for those of you who haven't, I'm getting ready to show you an example of what a transcript is so you can get familiar with it. Now, your parents get up every day and they go to work to their job. They got their job because they filled out a job application. They submitted their resume. You all are high school students. You don't have a full-time job. Your full-time job is school to be a student. So your transcript is a resume of your grades and your test scores and your activities to show the college that you are qualified to attend their school, or you're qualified to go into the military, or you're qualified to receive that scholarship. They need to see a list of your grades. So your transcript. When you need your transcript, you would go to your counselor or your graduation coach or your advisor to fill out this form. This is an official brush transcript request form that you need to fill this out. Once you fill this out and you turn it into your counselor will give you a transcript. This is an example of a transcript. Yes, young lady. Yes, anytime that you need your transcript. Excellent question. For all of you all that have questions, as I'm going through the presentation, please feel free to raise your hand. You may need your transcript in the 10th grade if you're applying to an internship or a summer experience program. But you will need your transcript to transition into college. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Yes.
10th graders, your Excel Tech application, you have to send your transcript. It shows your grades, your grade point average, your rank, and your attendance. So that's an example of when it would be used for the Excel Tech program.
Thank you for that addition. So, this is an example of a transcript. There are 7 things on your transcript you need to make sure that are accurate. The first thing is who you are, your contact information, because this proves your residency of where you live, your social security number, your contact information. The second thing is a list of all your classes and the grades that you earned. Teachers don't give grades, you earn grades. So this is a list of all of your classes and all the grades that you earned, as well as your GPA at the end of each grade semester. So this student is reflective of kind of how I was in high school. I wasn't really a good student. But you can see that in their 9th, their 10th, and their 11th grade what their GPA was. The second page of your transcript lists your GPA, your class rank. So the GPA of that student was a 1.86, sound familiar to me, and the class rank, that 40/55. What that means is that that student in that transcript was number 40. That means that there were 39 students that were smarter than that student, and there were 15 students that were less smarter than the student that is represented in that transcript. Your GPA and your class rank is very important to your colleges. And also on your transcript lists your list of activities. Those are your school-based activities. Your cheerleading, your chess club, your debate club, your football, your track, whatever you're enrolled in school, which is very important for those extracurricular activities. Number 5, lists your SAT and your ACT scores, if you take those. Now, for older students, this does not apply to you, it lists your OGT if they pass or fail. And the last one is the signature, because in order for it to be official, someone from Brush needs to sign it. Got it? Cool. Number 2, we just talked about your graduation requirements. It is your job to figure out how many points or credits you need in order to graduate. But colleges like to see your PSAT. You take that in your 10th grade year. Your SAT and your SAT subject test, your ACT, or if you take AP exams, those get sent to the school as well. Number 3, how much is all of this going to cost if I go to college? So it's up to you to do your research. But college tuition includes your room, which is your dormitory, your board, which is the classes that you take, your meal plan, your books, your health insurance, and IT fees. Just like how you can go out here and go to your school's computer lab and get online and print out stuff. When you go to college, you have a computer lab, but you got to pay for those resources at college. That's wrapped into your tuition. Now, when you apply to college, there's a fee to just fill out the application, whether you get accepted or not. Some of those college fees range from $35, $50 going up. Now, please note, if you receive free and or reduced lunch, there's an opportunity that you may be able to have that college application waiver waived. It's called the NACAC College Application Waiver. You get this form from your counselor, you complete it, and your counselor will help you decide, or it will be determined, whether you'll get that college application fee waived based on your need from your family. Now, there are 3 people that help you get to college. Number 1 is who?
Your counselor.
Yourself. Your first one is you. You're going to college. Your second one is who? Your parents. Your third one is who? The counselor. There are 3 sets of people. So you have, in your office. At least know their name, at least for them to know your faces. They have maybe 200-300 students per counselor that they need to watch. They need to watch over all of these students. They need to know who you are before your 12th grade year. So make sure you and your parents form a relationship with your counselor. The fifth thing is a letter of recommendation. Now, this is written by a non-family member that speaks to how great you are. Some colleges need this, some scholarship opportunities need this, some jobs ask for a letter of recommendation. So you ask possibly your neighbor, your church member, your English teacher, your coach, if you volunteer, that supervisor that supervises your volunteer opportunities. Someone other than your mom, dad, your brother, sister, auntie, uncle that writes a letter on behalf of you that mentions how great you are. Number 6. Now, number 6 and number 7 are one of the most dreaded things about college applications, and that's the writing portion. Now, the student autobiography or the biography is written about you. You get to write a story about you. Now, for example, a couple of days ago, I met a young man by the name of Raekwon in one of my classes. Now, for those of you all that like hip-hop, I like hip-hop too. One of my favorite rappers is Raekwon from the Wu-Tang Clan. Now, I'm sure his mom named him after her favorite rapper. But guess what? As unique his name is, so is his story. So if he wrote his college biography about himself, I'm sure college is not going to receive another application about the story of why he was named Raekwon. So pick something unique about yourself to write about. The next thing is a college essay. A college essay is very similar to the essays that you are writing in your English class. It's a 5-paragraph essay. Sometimes they give a topic, sometimes they don't. But you know how to write a 5-paragraph essay. It's an intro, 3 body paragraphs, and a what? Number 8. Now, I will say one of my most successful attributes of being an entrepreneur in Atlanta, Georgia was a community service. I was told by one of your counselors that as a graduation requirement, you need 40 hours of community service from your 9th to 12th grade year in order to graduate. That means that you have to call someone like United Way 211 or ask within your community, where can I volunteer my time? When I went down to Atlanta, I didn't know how to get around. I didn't know many people. But I called United Way 211 and asked them, are there any volunteer opportunities in my community? And when I went out to volunteer with different youth organizations or serving hot meals at the homeless shelter or helping a young lady that was just got out of an abusive relationship to find new work clothes to start her life all over again, I was able to meet a host and a community of great friends that became my clients. Through community service, I was able to meet Dickie Simmons, go on tour with Neo, and see the world with Andre 3000 through Outkast. So there's a lot of benefits of giving back your time. You all have, yes, someone may be smart in English or in math, 2 grades that I failed in high school. But you can tutor someone in the 5th and 6th grade after school by donating your time to help someone through their math and their English because you're smart in that subject. So giving back is very important. Number 9 is, if I'm going to go to college, well, how am I going to pay for it? At least 80 to 90% of college students are on some type of financial aid, loans, scholarships, or grants. There is something called the free application for federal student aid, and what that is an application that you submit with your parents' income information that the government gives you money in order to go to school. Now, I have a lot of money out in student loans that I pay back. But 6 months after you graduate, you're supposed to get a job and pay back that student loan. It's nothing wrong with getting loans or scholarship or some type of financial aid to help you through your college experience. So look into those opportunities. But again, talk to your parents, talk to your counselors to find out what type of financial resources that are out there to help you move on to college. The 10th thing is the college application submission process. Now, like I told you guys, I didn't do well my 2nd semester of my 12th grade year, but my colleges still wanted to see how I finished out my 12th grade year. Don't lose steam. Now, some of you all are sitting here thinking like, well, Miss Brandy, I don't know if I'm going to go to college. I may start my career. I may go into the military, and that's fine. But it all starts with an application, because an application gives you a choice and life, an opportunity. Now, if you have social media and you fill out a Facebook or a Kink or an IG or a Snapchat application, they ask you the same questions that you know the answers to. What's your first, your last name?